right, Shawna Karrasch here again, and we're ready to take William from the stall to under saddle. Now, what I did is, as you saw the last session, it was just the beginning, the first time he'd seen the milk jugs. I had done about 4 more sessions in his stall, just the same, just to get him more solid and more solid and more solid, so that when he sees them in a new environment, he's like, no big deal, I know what to do with them. So I did probably 3 or 4 more sessions, just the same sort of thing that you saw, just more of it. So just getting him more solid. So now we're going to move to under saddle. When you switch environments like this and we move to outdoors, all of a sudden there's a lot more stimulus. There's a lot more to see. There's a lot more to focus on. So it can be, it's called context shift, and it can be very alarming and not the same reaction we got in stall. You know, he could be on, but and just be on edge. So we're not really going to know until we see that. So I wanted to make sure he's really solid there. So we're going to take it over there. We're going to go to the round pen, so we're kind of controlling the environment a little bit. And we're going to start with me on the ground, just desensitizing him, and then we're going to have Jen, the rider, get in the saddle with him and kind of demonstrate how he goes. Now, for him, most of his real spookiness, he does it when he's walking, but under saddle, it really comes out a lot. So this is a way that we can take his focus on everything else and to start to put it on the rider. Because of that positive reinforcement, he starts thinking, I want to please you, I want to know what you're asking me to do. So it really helps to focus them and draw them focusing on you, as opposed to looking for excuses or escapes or things that they can react to. So let's get started. Okay, so here we are with William. Now we're out in the round pen. So this is the first time we've taken the milk jugs outside. So we kind of got him desensitized in his stall, and now it's time for outside. Once you're outside, a lot of times there's a lot more stimuli, and it can be a little more nerve-wracking. That's a good sign that he's looking at them is really good, because he is not that type. So it's for him to be curious and touching them and not leaving them. That's a really good sign. Okay, so I'm going to, although I could just put him over him in the stall, I'm going to take a step back and make sure he is comfortable out here. So I'm going to walk through those steps to be sure that we're moving forward. I don't want him to say no, I want him to say yes. So, good. And you can see his head went up a little bit, but he didn't look like he had any intention of leaving there. Okay. So I still have a hold of him here. Good. And now I'm going to move him back a little bit. And make sure that he kind of is comfortable with them in different areas on him. So if they bounce around, the more they bounce around, it's not disturbing or an odd sensation or a new sensation for him. And one of the things you remember, he doesn't really like it when they came up in front too much. But he seems to be pretty good with that. Okay, so the other thing I'm just going to have him do is walk with them on there. Come on, William. He looks kind of like a pack mule. Come on. Come on, come up here. Come here. Take a step. Here. Let's move back just a little bit. Kind of try to move him back to his more comfortable zone. You see him take a look at him? Good. Excellent. So there, I just wanted to see him walking on and not worrying about him. You saw a moment where he looked back at him, kind of get an eyeful. That's fine. He didn't jump. He was just kind of going, okay, there they are. What are they? So since he looks pretty comfortable here, we're now going to put our rider on. So Jen is going to get on, and we're going to start with a focus on me, and then we're going to shift the focus to the rider. So it's a way to transition from the groundwork where he's most comfortable, and he tends to be spookier in the saddle, to the place where we can get him to be listening more attention to the rider. So we're going to start with that. For a moment there, I want to see him turn his head away. See how he's kind of going back to being a little bit pushy. So I want him to look away. Thank you. That's better. So just had to remind him of that lesson there. Sometimes when they get new environments, it's called context shift, and they forget those things. All right, so we're going to take these off, and we're going to put Jen on. So, okay. Alrighty, so now here we are. We have Jen is in the saddle now, and she has a fanny pack on, and she has a clicker attached to a riding stick. So when the time is ready, she is ready to reinforce when she wants to. But for now, I want him to not worry about the rider and to just think about the lesson we did on the ground. Now, there's different ways you could do this. I could lunge him first and get him desensitized to it that way, but since he seems pretty comfortable, I'm kind of taking a step ahead since we're kind of doing this in short order. Another thing you could do, I could do it from the saddle as well, where I could actually get up there and then I could do it and click and reinforce. But we're going to kind of show an intermediary step. So now, I'm going to touch him with these again, just reminding him, just because there's a rider on, sometimes it makes it a whole different deal again, where he's thinking, I don't know, it's not the same rules that it used to have. So then, so I'm reinforcing him for the little things, and making sure and all the while, I'm kind of looking at his eyes and his ears and making sure he doesn't look, his head didn't go up in the air. And that's just kind of flies, and he looks really comfortable and no big deal about it. So that's what we want him to see. I'm going to ask him to walk forward with me. Will you come up here? So he's busy. Come up here. Come on. Come here. And this could be a little bit confusing for him because he hasn't really done it, so he may be thinking, but there you go. But there's a rider. I don't know who to listen to. So at first I kind of wanted him to listen to me. And he seems really comfortable with that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over to Jen. So as Jen takes up the reins, she's going to bridge on the things that she likes to see, which she's going to look for him to be nice and relaxed, ignoring the milk jugs. So as she sees him just walking and they're kind of jiggling around, she can reinforce him as she sees fit. So why don't you go ahead and just walk around. And there you can see they kind of bang around, and you can hear he likes to. And so there she clicked, and she just reinforced him. Good. Yeah, and I did it behind the saddle and everything, so he should be. And he is a type of horse that's very spooky under saddle, so this is a great exercise for him to kind of shift and get used to other things. So that is excellent. So you can see just as he's walking around, and she is just reinforcing him for being nice and relaxed, and that's really the whole point. And when you're ready, Jen, you feel like he feels relaxed, you can go ahead up to a trot. Excellent. See, that's excellent. And that's basically the steps how it goes. I mean, you can go on and do further and do more and build up, but that's really the beginning stages of what you do. So this is a horse. You remember his first thing was not comfortable. Now he is. You can ride with him, and this will help him. From there you can go on to down into the ring and other things, but this will help him with that spookiness to help him concentrate on the process of training versus the incidentals that are part of his world. And the more you introduce, the better they get about, the more they ignore those things. So I think that was a great place, a nice short session for William. It gets him kind of thinking those things, and you can clearly see where you could progress ahead with that, and you can move to other things. You don't have to stop at milk jugs. You could create other things. You could ride with the tarp on him. You could ride, all kinds of things. But anyway, so I think that was great. So thanks, Jen, and thanks, William. Alrighty, so that was a lot of fun to see. We got to start with the principles in the very first video. The principles that are in play are the tools that you can use that'll help you to communicate with your horse. We started with Lucky Jack, did the bridge conditioning, did the target training, and then moved into that kind of transitional sessions where we introduced William, the most reactive horse we have, introduced him to the milk jugs, and you got to see some of how he first is startled by them and how we kind of got him more comfortable with them and him making good choices. And then we moved into the third one where we're actually starting to take it to the practical practical application, taking it to a place where we're really going to use it. So that was, I think it was really fun for me to see William come through all that. I mean, I've done one other little exercise with him that was, well, it's a big exercise, and for him it was huge. It was a big exercise, and it was desensitizing him to the tarp and all the various stages and parts of it have helped him with make good decisions in this session. So I, knowing William, got to see him react in a bolder and more trusting place, and that is just so fun for me to see, because that's what I ultimately want all of the horses to do. So I thought that was great. So if you are the type that want to learn more, I've actually created a DVD series called De-spooking Your Horse, Building Boldness and Confidence. And it's something I'm really excited about, and I love it because all the horses tend to spook, you know, and it happens all over the place. So it's, so I'm just really tickled, and it's great for no matter what your discipline or what level of trainer you are or all of that to combine. You can build a horse that's nice and solid and trusting. So if you want to learn more about de-spooking your horse and learn more exercises, anyway, just go to the link on this page and you can learn more about de-spooking your horse, building boldness and confidence. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's been great to be a part of your solutions and part of your journey. I'm Shawna Karrasch. Bye.